this is Jenny from the Sewing Palace. This short video is to show you how to make this beautiful little Liberty pillow from the Pillow Talk book. Let's get started. The first thing that you'll want to get is the Pillow Talk book, which is written by Adita Sitar. This is a great book on making all kinds of pillows for holidays and for decorating your home. The Liberty pillow is perfect for the upcoming holiday, and it is a really basic pillow. You can pair it with a quilt and decorate your house with. Here is a picture of all those fun pillows. Again, that's the Pillow Talk book from Adita Sitar of Laundry Basket Quilts. You'll need a total of a fat quarter of cream colored fabrics. You'll need about a fat eighth of red colored fabrics and about a 10-inch square for the blue fabric. You'll also need some pillow backing fabric if you choose. This pillow does not have the top or the bottom on it. The one that I've showed you has a top to make it a square pillow. You're going to collect your fabrics, cut them up, and then you'll start sewing them together. So you sew a series of red and white strips, and then those red and white strips are sewn to the blue fabric, and then you do another series of strip piecing for the bottom and add the top and bottom to make a square pillow. If you want the measurements for that, they are in the book, and it is located on, I think, page 36 if you want to refer to that in the book, and you can get all your cutting done and start sewing. Once you have assembled your top, you will then want to either sew it together as a pillow or quilt the pillow. For this example, I used a serpentine stitch. A serpentine stitch is a stitch that sews a very gentle wave. There are different settings you can use on your machine. And I just used the serpentine stitch with a white thread and stitched in the white fabric using the regular presser foot and just feeding it. I have batting and backing already layered, and I'm just stitching along. What's nice about a serpentine stitch is it doesn't have to be exact. It kind of looks like a flag waving in the wind. It works perfect for this project, and I got it quilted in no time flat. When I stitched the stars, I used a very simple design that was in a Bernina 990 quilting design, and I just popped in a couple stars. I hooped up that batting and backing and stitched those stars with a 28 weight cotton thread so that it really stood out. So you could do some very simple quilting. You could also do the serpentine stitch over the whole flag. Now that my pillow top is done and quilted, so I've got my strips sewn together, I've quilted with some embroidery stitches, and I've quilted a serpentine stitch in all of those. The other extra step that I've added is I did use an overlocker, a 3-thread overlock, and I stitched around the outside edge so that those edges are all finished. Now I want to put a zipper in, so let's just chat about that for a second. I have a couple of zippers to choose from. This one in particular is too short. It doesn't fit the width of the pillow. So you can see it's a little too short. So I'm going to show you, I'm just going to add some strips of fabric to the ends. I'm going to sew them on and flip them out and then trim them to the width of the pillow. So that is what I'm going to use for a shorter zipper, or I can get a zipper that is plenty long enough, measure the length, and then add that zipper. As far as the pillow back goes, I would take my finished size and divide it in half and then cut 2 pieces with that plus a seam allowance. So I have cut a piece here and then another piece here, and they're cut a little bit larger. I'm going to insert a zipper here, square that up, and then sew it onto the front of the pillow, and I'll be all set. So let's get to use the zipper that is a little too short for my pillow, and I've cut a strip of fabric. It's about 1 1/8 inch, and I'm going to stitch it right along the edge of the stop and then flip it out. And then I have extra, so let's do that to this side here. Lay the fabric right side down inside that zipper stop. What is going to stop the zipper now is the stitching across it, so that I don't have the stop actually showing anymore. Now that I have a tail on each end of the zipper, I will now measure that length so that it matches the width of my pillow. Now I'm ready to sew my zipper onto the pillow back. I have two pieces. This is the front of my zipper. I have added tabs, measured the length so that it is the same side as my zipper back piece. I'm going to lay it right side down, and I'm going to stitch along this edge here to hold the zipper in place. I've also attached my zipper foot, and I'm moving the needle over so that it will stitch close to the zipper. When you get close to the zipper pulls, you'll want to move them out of the way. So I've lowered my needle into the fabric to hold the position and raised my presser foot. And then I will just move the pulls past where I have already stitched, and they'll be out of my way, and then continue stitching all the way down. I've stitched the zipper to the pillow back. I'm going to flip it out and press that. You can top stitch to hold this stitching into place, and then I will add the other piece of the pillow back to the other side. My pillow top is completed and my pillow back is completed. And what I would do is decide if I want the zipper in the center or if I want it located more at the bottom. Since I gave myself extra fabric, I would lay this right sides together, trim the backing, pillow backing so that it is the right size to match my pillow front. And once I have that all laid out and trimmed so that they're the same size, I would open the zipper and then stitch all the way around the project. There you have it. The Liberty pillow is all complete. I have stuffed a pillow form inside and it's ready to go. Have a great holiday. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.